Hi friends, welcome to DanielDNicola.com. This is very awkward because I'm not used to sitting in front of a camera and not really talking to anybody. Normally when I have thoughts, I just keep them in my head, or I write them down, or I call somebody, or I don't do this. I don't sit in front of a camera, but I decided this is what I'm going to do because I don't always have the time for phone calls, and I know you don't either. YOLO. But I do want to chronicle my life, and I do want to share it with you. So this first attempt, I've already pushed record and stop and fast or rewind and delete like 1,000 times. And now I'm just going to let this one go, and we'll see how I do. Just wanted to give you a heads up, though, that I probably will be teleprompting some of this, so this is a bit scripted. I'm trying to make this video as natural sounding as possible. And when I say video, you podcasters out there who are listening to the audio version of this, I guess you're missing out. You need to go and see me at DanielDNicola.com or just enjoy the audio, okay? I thought today I'd take some time to tell you a little bit about where I'm at with my life and give you a brief introduction for my new friends and maybe a little memo for my friends who I may have lost touch with. But first, I want to share with you the purpose for the blog. Because let's face it, I could yammer on all day spewing out useless tidbits and buzzwords to boost my Google page rank and attract advertisers. But that's not all that's important to me. My main objective is just to share my life out loud. I'm an introvert by nature, so it takes me a little bit of time to get comfortable in front of a crowd. I do it all the time, don't get me wrong. Most people who meet me for the first time actually think that I'm an extrovert. I go out of my way to make new friends and ask questions because even though I thrive alone, I know it would be a lonely world if I didn't try to connect. Blogging gives me the opportunity to get personal with you guys, to share my life without a censor as I do when I write in my journal. I've been successful in hiding many parts about myself over the years. But what does that get me? I have to ask myself. Relief, sure. Yeah, it's an outlet for me to get things off my chest. But I've realized over the last few years of being involved with social media and networking that journaling privately doesn't really help me collect feedback. I set my own goals, I make my own decisions, and I'm free, and I love that feeling. But sometimes I just want to know what you think. Well, now we live in an age where we can share our thoughts and experiences in a way that opens us up to comments, criticism, and connections that might not otherwise be made. As an introvert, I've had to ask myself what I'm afraid of, because it's fear that keeps me lonely. While I would normally love to deny the fact that I have any fear at all, my list of fears runs deep. Rejection, humiliation, judgment, failure, pain. I know it's not good to be afraid. Fear jars action. It jars progress. Fear keeps me from reaching my potential. Well, fuck that. I said fuck. I'm reaching my potential, and the fear of being judged by a potential employer for using the F word on my own blog is not going to stop me. Here is my life, and here's who I am. While I miss it quietly as an observer watching the world around me, DanielDNicola.com is where I come to speak out loud. Expect to learn some things about me that maybe you never knew. I don't plan on saying fuck all the time, but I don't plan on holding back either. So, if that offends you, then maybe this blog isn't for you. I've chosen this platform over Facebook specifically because it means you have to come visit me here if you want to know the dirt. Because let's face it, sharing yourself means taking the bad with the good. I personally don't feel like Facebook is a place to air dirty laundry, although I'm guilty of it in the past and I'll probably do it again in the future. Facebook is a place to connect, and I like to use it as a tool to do just that. I'll post links to my blog on Facebook, but I prefer to house those discussions here. So yeah, the first purpose for the blog is just to share my life out loud. It's to become more vocal. It's to take me outside of my comfort zone, and share out loud. The second purpose is to help you. Perhaps something I have to say might resonate with you, and if it does, maybe it can help. So take what works for me if it works for you. Life is complicated, and I come with more questions than answers. I don't know what's right for you, and I don't pretend that my experience has any meaning relative to your current situation. but take from me what works for you. I read a quote today. Where did I see it? Someone's profile or someone posted it. It goes, give a lot, expect a little. Okay? So I think to myself, what can I give? At the moment, I'm in debt, an unusual and uncomfortable place for me to be as a planner and an organizer and a saver. But as you'll learn through reading my posts, I give all that up for something that I thought was more valuable than all the money in the world. I have to-do lists that are not done. I have clutter piling up on my desk. And now I owe thousands to the IRS. But I'm working my way out of this mess, and you can follow along as I do. When I reflect on what it means to give a lot, I must clarify that I don't mean money. That will come when money is more abundant in my life. But right now what I can give is advice. Because what I do have in abundance is experience. I've worked in a lot of industries, and as the youngest of 9 siblings, I feel like I have first-hand access to many other fields. My dad often joked that I'd end up being the most successful out of all my siblings because I could learn from all of their trials. But I'm not so sure that's going to happen. How do you measure success anyway? Is it money, possessions, security, salvation, relationships? Being the most successful means agreeing on that definition first. And I'm one who believes that each person outlines for themselves what it means to be successful. One thing I can say is having all that access has enabled me to become a more well-rounded human, and that has contributed to the success in my life. Success for me is meeting all of my goals. I have a lot of goals. Just to name a few, I want to maintain good health. I want to have friends who love me for me, be able to attend family events whenever they happen. I'd like to work for a cause that resonates with me, and I'd like to own property. There's a few. So far, by my own standards, I feel like I'm doing pretty good with my own success rate. So if you have goals that are similar to mine, maybe this blog can help you. Or maybe you can help me. This is a give and take relationship, so I expect you to give a little too. So don't forget to comment below. So I'd say the third purpose for me creating this blog is to sharpen my own skills. I would like to become a better writer, speaker, entertainer. Let me know how I'm doing so far. And a more productive person in general. Committing to sharing myself on a regular basis is a way for me to hold myself accountable for my own personal development. And the only way that I know to get better at anything is to keep practicing. Practice makes perfect, as they say. Well, they also say, nobody's perfect. Well, what the what? How can both be true? Well, from what I've learned, perfection is out there. It's basically God. You can't reach it, we can't be it, but we can know it exists. Aiming for perfection is a noble pursuit, I'd say. Aiming perfection can deliver us to excellence. However, we can spend a lifetime aiming for perfection. I might finally come up with the perfect plan for how to live my life most effectively, but I'd probably be on my deathbed by the time I would put that plan into action. Sometimes you just have to do, and then make tweaks along the way. Sharpening your skills is more about making constant adjustments and less about getting it right the first time. We learn from our mistakes. Right now I'm learning the value of ready, fire, aim as opposed to ready, aim, fire. It's important to make progress, and that's what FIRE is all about. As you'll notice, from the huge gap in time between my last 2 posts, I spent an entire year aiming to perfect my blog. The result? 0. How perfect was that? Now, today's post represents my decision to fire away even before I had perfected my outline. The results are already blowing my mind. I can't believe I let my blog sit for an entire year without saying a peep. So this blog for me is to understand myself and to push myself and to hold myself accountable to being the best Danny I know I can be. I'm not perfect, and neither is this blog. Neither is any human. You'll find mistakes in my writing, in my speaking, and in my judgment. This is going to be a beautiful mess, so enjoy the show. Wrapping up, I just want to add that this blog is going to grow organically. There may be days when I have only one little thing to say, and I might leave a gap of time before I go back and revisit. But you too, come back and comment anytime you feel like it. Let's agree that that's okay. I was previously intending to use DanielDNicola.com as a supplement to my resume, and then as a platform to feature my fitness business. But I'm now repurposing it as a virtual representation of my physical self. Stop by for random thoughts, inspiring quotes, photos and videos from my travels, and stories about the struggles and triumphs of my life. Wishing you all the best.